Yo, what is up guys, Ghost here, welcome back to another video. So in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Battlefield 2042's update 8.9, which has really seen a bit of a revamping to the vault weapons. My hope here was that most of them would now be worth taking over the base weapons in the game, and I could finally feel the drive to tier 1 them, because those are like some of the weapons I haven't gotten around to yet. And it's kind of a mixed bag. So without further ado, if you guys enjoy the content here on the channel, make sure you're subscribed. I'm of course going to continue to bring you everything on Battlefield 6 and beyond that. I'm also streaming quite a lot now over on Twitch, so if you guys enjoy that sort of thing, feel free to leave a follow on that platform. And as always, thank you guys for the support. We're very, very close to 60,000 subscribers. So if you are one of those people who watches the videos on the regular, but you're not subscribed yet, that would be massively appreciated. But yeah, let's just get into it. So one of the first cool new things that they've implemented here is they've done a crossover with Mass Effect and brought some skins to the game. Now, some of these are paid skins. Some of them you can unlock by playing this new game mode called Conquest Ascension. At first, I was a little bit skeptical of any sort of a crossover between Battlefield and another franchise, but after having seen these weapons, I don't think they're too bad. They're nothing amazing either, so you're not really missing out if you don't want to buy them. But yeah, just wanted to point that out. I think they're maybe some of the better ones that DICE have made. So before we get into the weapons, let's talk a little bit about Conquest Ascension, because this game mode actually surprised me. So I don't think they even mentioned this in the blog post that they put out the other day at all, but basically what it is it's 64-player Conquest, but you have the vehicle rules that you have in Control. So if you guys remember last week's game mode Control, you accrue Ascension points by scoring points in the game, and then you can use those points to spawn vehicles, and that's how it works here in this game mode as well. On top of that, they've also added the portal mechanic of basically being able to crawl to get a revive. So when you die, instead of just lying there on the floor and waiting for a revive, you can actually start to crawl in the direction of a medic. This can be a little bit misleading at times. Sometimes I would see somebody 3D spotted and they were actually dead, but they just hadn't been revived yet. So like, I think that may be a bug, but it can be somewhat misleading sometimes. You think somebody's prone on the ground with a rifle, but they're actually just dead and waiting for a revive. They've also added Spectator mode, which was another feature that was implemented in Portal some months ago. I've not really seen it in any game modes up until now, but this is quite fun as well. In fact, this really makes me realise just how much I've missed the Spectator mode from past Battlefield games and how much I want it to be in Battlefield 6. I had a blast spectating my squad mates, just seeing what silly things they were up to. I was checking out this guy here who was like a level 1 PlayStation player. I don't know, it's a lot of good fun. So what about the new and improved vault weapons then? The main changes they've made to them here across the board is they've given them access to some new attachments, and the main one I'm going to talk about is the BCG Light Grip. So for those of you who aren't aware, the BCG Light Grip is pretty much the best grip in the game. There are certain situations where you don't want to use the BCG Light Grip, but they are few and far between, and generally speaking, you can just whack that thing on there and you're going to be good to go. So what this means is that almost all of the vault weapons, because most of them have gotten it, have seen an increase in accuracy and stability, which is really good because that means they're slightly closer to having the same accuracy and stability that the rest of the weapons in the game have. The second big thing they've implemented is the underloaded magazine, as they called it. And what this is a magazine with a shorter reload time, but you have fewer rounds to go at. And it also gives you an extra buff to your accuracy and your stability. So I've tried this out on a number of different weapons here, and it's kind of a mixed bag for me. So my two favorite ones that I've tried, first of all, the AEK 971. I'm pretty sure this was one of the best vault weapons before these changes, so surprise, surprise, it's also one of, if not the best vault weapon after the changes as well. This thing at the moment is just absolutely shredding. I had a bunch of fun with this, and quite frankly, all the other vault weapons couldn't really compare after having used that one and gotten used to the blisteringly fast TTK. Then I would say in second place, I would put the ACWR. This one again got the underloaded magazine and the BCG Light Grip, so this was also one of the better vault weapons. Again, unsurprising that it still is one of the best vault weapons, but now it feels even more accurate than it did before. Now, the M416 was kind of a letdown for me. They've actually given that another attachment, a shortened barrel, which is silenced by default. And I was pretty excited to try this. In practice, it just didn't work for me. It felt like the velocity was far too slow, the TTK was far too slow, and it just couldn't really compare to a lot of the other weapons, and so ultimately I ended up putting this one down pretty quickly. I think the MTAR is another one that actually benefits quite a lot from the stat buffs you get from the underloaded magazine and the BCG light grip. Obviously, it's a very high rate of fire weapon, and so any accuracy you can gain there and stability is going to do a lot for the weapon. But the fact it has a very fast TTK also means you're going to get through those 25 rounds that you get, because this magazine is a lot smaller, so quickly that you will be caught with your pants down a lot of the time. I also tried the AKS-74U and the P90. I would say both of these weapons are just sort of okay. Like, they weren't the worst weapons, they weren't the best weapons. Would I want to use them over some of the other SMGs in the game, like the PP19 or the PBX? Definitely not. They're nowhere near the level of those weapons in terms of like efficiency, in terms of killing potential, TTK and the rest of it. But, you know, if you are looking for some half competent SMGs and you just want to fill out all of your tier 1 skins and whatnot, then they're pretty decent. Now, unfortunately, I didn't try the XM8 LMG. That was one of the LMGs I wanted to try the most, because that too got a heavy suppressor that has now been sort of rolled into the shortened barrel. So now, just like with the M416, you get this silenced shortened barrel. Unfortunately, though, unlike with the rest of the attachments, which DICE have decided kindly to just give to us, for this gun, you have to unlock them. And quite frankly, I didn't have the time to go and get like 200-300 kills on the weapon just to test it. So if anybody has tried it, feel free to leave your thoughts below. Now, there were several other LMGs that saw changes as well. We have the Type 88 LMG, the M240B, the M60E4. All of these guns got this new special underloaded magazine, or the underloaded cassette, as they call them for the LMGs. And I actually think that these are some of the weapons that are going to benefit from the most. I think with a lot of the SMGs and a lot of the assault rifles, it's a bit of a trade-off, right? You're losing rounds in the magazine, so you can only really kill maybe 2, maximum 3 people before you have to reload, but you're gaining that fast reload speed and you're gaining those stats. With the LMGs though, the rounds in the magazine are only reduced down to like 100 or sometimes 115. So even if you have 100 rounds, that's quite a lot to go at. And you're getting additional stability, you're getting additional accuracy. So I would say that for all the LMGs, this new magazine type is pretty much a no-brainer in my book. We've also gotten a similar attachment for 3 of the snipers, or the DMRs, the M39 EMR, the SVD, and then the GOL Magnum Sniper Rifle. I couldn't really tell much of a difference. They've also gotten the BCG light grip. I stuck that thing on there. Didn't really feel that much more accurate to me. And in the case of the GOL Magnum Sniper Rifle, if you use this new attachment, you actually only get 3 rounds instead of 5, which is not great. So again, a bit of a hefty trade-off there, I think, similar to with the assault rifles and the SMGs. Now, one of the standout weapons you might want to take a look at, however, is the RPK-74M. Now, this one doesn't have the new magazine, but it has actually been given the high-power drum magazine with 50 rounds in it. It also has the BCG light grip, they've also given it the wrap suppressor, and they've reduced the reload speed when using an extended magazine. So this is much more of a hybrid, really, between an assault rifle and an LMG, and I think this one is going to be a lot more effective now. So all in all, if you said to me, Ghost, are these weapons the new meta? Are these the guns I want to be using if I want to perform at my utmost best? No, definitely not. They're still not going to trump the meta guns in the game, like the PBX, the PP19, the AC9, you know, all the assault rifles like the VHX and stuff like that. I don't think you're going to trump those guns, but they have just become a lot more lucrative, a lot more interesting to use. And like I said, if you're just looking to change up your loadouts, maybe you want to unlock some of those tier 1 skins because you've already used all of the other weapons in the game to death, then you could definitely do a lot worse. And I think they have made like a meaningful step in sort of bringing the Vault weapons up a notch. But let me know what you guys think about it below. You know, which weapons have you been using? Which have been your favorites? Which ones do you dislike the most? As always, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more Battlefield, leave a follow over on Twitch as well if you enjoyed live streams, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.